Hey, good morning, everyone. It's 10 a.m. Eastern in New Jersey, and that means it's time for Friday Focus. Sure feels better doing it at 10 a.m. Eastern than 7 a.m. Pacific when I was in LA, but I'm back. So anyway, um, today we're going to talk about, can you really control the outcome of a job search? And that might not just be a job search. Heck, it could be dating. It could be trying to get something you want in any way, shape, or form. And I bring up this topic because, as many of you may know, we do something called the Now What Online Experience, where people work through videos and live interaction with me over 12 weeks to figure out what they want to do with their life. And in this particular group this week, we had somebody who has been actively searching for a job because they lost it during the pandemic. And last week they were talking about how they keep hearing from every interview they do that they're overqualified, and just kind of taking that in as covert speak for saying you're too old, whatever the case may be, right? So this person was really down and kept hearing over and over again that they should keep looking because they're overqualified. So I brought to her a negotiating technique. There's a negotiating technique where you actually let people know that you know exactly what they're thinking, right? So you think this is going to be a bad deal, or you think I'm overqualified, or you're probably wondering why X, Y, or Z, instead of waiting for them to bring it up. So what that does is it makes it first of all, it like sort of evens the playing field because everyone knows what's going on. There's no hidden agenda here. You've called it out. And also, sometimes when you paint the worst case scenario, not that you're underselling yourself, we're not worrying about that. We're just stating that perhaps what they're thinking, and it actually starts causing the other person to look for the good instead of the bad. So, for example, if this were negotiating a, offering somebody a salary, and you say, we know that this is lower than what you might expect, but we see that there's an opportunity here for you to grow with us, and blah, 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 blah. You've already set the expectation that I'm about to disappoint you. And then it makes the rest of it sound like a good idea. There's a lot of psychology behind that, right? So, what we recommended to this person was, okay, so next interview, instead of waiting for the end for them to tell you you're overqualified, when you get to speak, put that on the table. I've been hearing a lot that I'm overqualified, and let me tell you what I think about that. So lo and behold, that was one shift that this person made. And she came back a week later to say that she landed two job offers. One that was at a salary that she's not going to take, one that doubled her income. Now, it wasn't that alone that made that happen. She also realized that because she was feeling so down from not landing a job, that she stopped doing some of her self-care, some of the things that made her feel better every day. And we all know that when you're out there trying to find an opportunity, whether it be a job search or you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to make things happen, if they're not happening, it's really easy to like fall in on yourself and start thinking very negatively. So this person admitted to that. And they had a technique that I think is really cool and worth sharing. So she also mentioned that I brought back my 10-10-10 that I hadn't done. Now, the 10-10-10 is something we're going to give credit to Mo Fall, Faul, another coach, who says spend 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes on gratitude, and 10 minutes on bragging about yourself every day. So this person that we're talking about kept hearing that she was overqualified, changed the negotiating tactic, and starting bringing back this self-care, and ended up, like I told you, with not just one job offer, but two job offers within another week of interviewing. Now, can we really be like, oh, this was some miracle and we caused this in 1 week? Or do we just say this is circumstantial and a coincidence? I don't really believe in coincidences. And I will temper this by saying, okay, maybe it wasn't like some magical cure, but this is what I know happened by this person negotiating what she's going to hear anyway differently, and then shifting her mindset and her being. So the title of today's Friday Focus is, can you control the outcomes of your job search against the odds of age, against the odds of availability, against the odds of being overqualified, against the odds of, you know, things changing in our world as we're pre and post pandemic. And the answer is yes. You can control the outcomes. And you can control the outcomes by controlling yourself. Because when you go in defeated, when you go in knowing it's not going to work out, when you go in knowing the answer that they're going to give you, you show up in a certain way. So when you are taking care of yourself, putting yourself in the right mindset, and coming in ready to uh, address that negative thing that you keep hearing over and over, you're in a position of power. And being in a position of power, again, not tipping over to being too egotistical or too pushy, just that nice little balance of coming in fully confident, meeting the opportunity where it is, we get better results. All right. So, what I want you to take away this week is if you keep hearing certain feedback, you mention it first and you change the dynamic. And two, don't give up on what you're doing to put yourself in the right mindset. For this person, it was the 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of gratitude, 10 minutes of bragging. And we credit Coach Mo Fall for that technique. So, one more story. I can attest to this myself. When I started my coaching career, I had no credentials. I mean, I was trained, but I had no credentials, no business background. Um, nothing that anyone would think would merit success. And I remember wondering, like, I'm too young. Who's going to listen to me? I was only in my 20s when I started. My hair's too big, my clothes are too loud. No one's going to listen to me. And guess what? No one listened to me. And I remember when I shifted that and I was like, hey, people want to listen to me because I have different ideas than they do because they're so wedded to the way things are done. When I went in there, no longer thinking I was too young and just thinking I'm just right, that's when I started landing opportunities to coach in corporations way back when. So there you have it. There's our live this week, your Friday focus. Remember that you can control the outcomes by controlling your being, controlling your mood, controlling your attitude, and controlling how you walk into a room. So have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you back here next week on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All right. Take care, everybody. See you soon.